Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, when I was down at the ANA show in Rosemont, they had representatives from all of the grading companies there. They had PMG, they had Legacy, they had NGCS. They had all the different companies there. And I proposed a question that I always assumed was true, but I wanted to make sure was actually true. Coin collectors have a very fun time buying coins that are graded, cracking them out, and resubmitting them trying to get a better grade. Now, with coins, that's fairly easy to do because there is no record. However, if you tried to do that with notes, well, notes have serial numbers on them. So if you buy a note and you think it's undergraded, if you crack it out and send it back in, all the grading companies have to do is type in that serial number, and they're going to find out how the note was graded, or if the note was graded previously, even if it was done by a different company. So cracking out notes is not the same game as cracking out coins. So please, if a note is graded, don't crack it out. You're just wasting money. There are certain things, you can have a note reevaluated, you can have a note regraded, but if you crack it out, you're not gaining anything because all they're going to do is check that serial number and just give it back the same grade it had before. So don't do that. All right. Here's my 1,000 in singles. Let's slide these out of the way and take a look at what I found this week. Found another artwork note. This one looks like someone did the Joker and put a star in his head. I can't even make out what that says on the top. I'm not even going to try. But anyway, looks like the Joker. That's pretty cool. Found a Where's George. This is a recognizable symbol to me. I will log it right away and see what happens. Another one, this I've definitely seen before, but it could be somebody else with a similar stamp. And this was new. This one got stamped it looks like it got stamped over here and smeared this way here, and it looks like it was one backwards here. Yeah, one on the back, couple on the back there. So I'll be logging that one as well. Found some trinaries. This is 2s, 5s, and 6s. 0s, 7s, and 8s. 2s, 4s, and 9s. Just the 1 9 there, so there could have been a binary. One away from a binary. 3s, 5s, and 7s, and once again you get 3 3 5 7 3 5 3 7. So if those two are switched around, you've got a repeater. Still a trinary. I take it. This is a neat trinary. 8 8 6 6 6 1 1 1. So yes, it's a trinary with 1s, 6s, and 8s, but it's also a downward ladder, a downward broken ladder. When we say that, a downward ladder indicates descending order. Broken means that there are numbers missing. So obviously we don't have the 7, we don't have the 5, the 4, the 3, or the 2. So that's where you get a downward broken ladder on this particular one. It's in good shape too. Here's quads. Quad zeros on this one. Quad zeros again, not quite as nice. Quad 9s, and I don't want to know what that is on there. And here's 5 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s on this particular note. And 5 4s to follow it up. Not quite as nice on this note, but still 5 4s. I did find some stars. 2017 star. 2017, checking to make sure that the star is not a filled star. Another 2017 here, pretty rough shape. 2017, much better shape. Starting with a couple zeros, maybe it's a low. We'll check it out. Here's another one, 2017, starting with a couple zeros. So that's got potential as well. Not to say that any note isn't rare or couldn't be rare, but it just seems that the lower the number, the more likely the note is to be on the rare side. 2017 there, 2013. 2013B, starting with a 0, that might be one of the notes I got to check, but somebody wrote a phone number on there. Wouldn't that be something? To have your phone number randomly written on a bill that ends up being worth $50,000. It probably wouldn't be worth that much if it had the phone number written on it, but anyway, that's just kind of an oddball thing. Here's another one of the 2013B notes, starting with a couple zeros, so I think that is one of the potential duplicated notes. Here's a 2003A that's still fairly crisp. Not in the greatest of shape, but I wanted to compare it to my book. And then we get to the notes that I normally save. 2001, 1999. These are all kind of rough here. 1995, checking to see if it's a web note. No dice. Another 1995, also really rough shape, not a web note. 1995, also rough shape, and also not a web note. It's torn, so it's probably going to go back. Here's a 1988A. No, it's not a web note, but it is a Y note. And the Y notes are always interesting to find. You don't find them too often. This is the last time, or no, 1995, I think, was the last time they used Y as one of the letters. That just means that they've gone through all the numbers, and then they changed the A to a B, went through all the numbers, changed the B to a C, and so on down the line. They made it all the way to Y. They've never gotten to Z. So when it comes to letters, it's fairly rare to find a Y. I don't think there's any additional value on them. Maybe there is. I never thought of it that way. I save them not because they're Y notes, but because they're usually really old notes. That's why I pull them. Here's a 1985. Somebody wrote on it, so that's too bad. Another 1985, a little bit better condition. Let's see. This, I'm looking at it and I'm holding the one in the case because I had so many. This was the find of the week, 2017. Check out that one. 7344, 7344. Found a repeater in circulation. That's something that doesn't happen too often. They are a little tougher to find. Radars are easy because you just look at the two numbers here, and if these two are together, then you can start making your way out. But as far as a repeater, 7734, 7344, 7344. If that was 7734, you could turn it upside down and you'd get hell. That would be really cool to find as a repeater. But that's pretty close anyway. 7344, 7344, repeater found in circulation. All right, let's take a look at what I pulled out this week. Let me get these out of the way. I happen to have one of the top 100 notes of all time. You guys saw it before in my list. I recently got this note. I had filmed the video before I had gotten this note, so I couldn't use it in the top 100. Doesn't mean I didn't get to check it off of my list. What am I holding? This is an 1859 is what this is. Louisiana, Citizens Bank of Louisiana $10 note. This particular one happens to be a remainder, which means it was never circulated. What is the big deal about this note? Well, it is an obsolete banknote, so this predates the Federal Reserve printing money in 1862. Banks used to be able to print their own money, and they could do any denomination they wanted. They can put anything they want on it. They were responsible for their own notes. And the Citizens Bank of Louisiana, what they did was, well, Louisiana, New Orleans, you can see New Orleans right here on the bottom. New Orleans is known for the French Quarter. And, 10 on a note would be DIX. So they put all the stuff on the back in French, which is pretty cool. Having the bright red also makes this note stand out like you wouldn't believe. And check out the boat. It's interesting because there is a steamship. It looks to be on the ocean. And actually that would be probably the Gulf of Mexico where it is, because that certainly would not be the Mississippi River. You're not going to see waves like that on the Mississippi. Anyway, the $10 Citizens Bank of Louisiana. Now this note has an amazing story to it. Because of the boats on the front, you're going to think of, well, there were a number of boats going up and down the Mississippi. People would be bringing their wares to sell in New Orleans. And the merchants knew that this is what it said on the back, and they started to give these notes an interesting nickname because of that. They wanted to go down south and get a bunch of these DIX notes, these DIX notes, and they called them Dixies. Now, where would you go to collect Dixies? Well, you would go to Dixieland. Dixieland is where you get the Dixies. And that is how the South became known as Dixieland, because of this note right here. This particular note gave the nickname Dixie to the South. So that is just really, really cool. Now, this particular one grades at 55 about uncirculated, and they put a net on there. And they put the net on there because of these little tears. Now, what it looks like is, it looks like somebody might have tried to staple this at some point to a board or something, and then they just ripped it off. And that is those little tears. I don't know, maybe they tried to trim it. I don't know what the deal is, but this was given a 55 net grade, which I find really interesting. It does have, some staining on it and stuff. Checking the back, I don't see any creases or folds or anything like that. I just see a note that was uncirculated, but seen some stuff. Here's some more stains over here. And that almost, oh no, I think that's just on the case there. Anyway, they did note tears on the back, but a 55. Now, one of the things when I was at the show, I talked to the guy at Heritage and I showed him this, and Heritage said that this I could probably resubmit and they would redo it without the net, because this was graded a while ago and they were much tougher on the notes as far as the net portion, which means if I was to resubmit this, they'd probably regrade it as the 55 about uncirculated. They would remove the net from here. They would leave the tears on the back like that. At least that's what the guy from Heritage was telling me. So he said this might be worth resubmitting just for that. Me, I don't care that much about it. Maybe if I was to ever sell it, I would consider doing that, but I am proud to have this note in my collection. Once again, another one of the top 100. It's either 84 or 86. I think it's number 86 overall in the top 100. So check another one off for me. All right, guys, if you've learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. I love reading all your comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.